So after watching the Monday Night Raw episode from Madison Square Garden, hosted by Roddy Piper, whom by the way called Vince McMahon out to the ring for a match, got Randy Orton instead, whom got Kofi Kingston in a vicious fight. And this Raw, Monday Night Raw, as I said in my Raw review, you should really check it out, it was tremendous. They really know, WWE really knows how to put a great night together, be it a pay-per-view or a unique Raw like tonight when WWE returns to its roots in the venue called MSG, the Garden, Madison Square Garden in New York, which is what I believe actually WWE sold out for the first time in history. This proves that WWE is completely superior when it comes to put together that kind of show when they want to do that. There is no other wrestling organization in the history, apparently, that has been able to measure up with the WWE, and I don't believe TNA does it either. Because when WWE wants to go on a crusade, wrestling-wise, they know how to do it, and they know how to demolish and undermine their opponents and the competitors, such as in TNA right now. WWE has announced 6 matches for this upcoming 23rd annual of Survivor Series this Sunday on pay-per-view, and I believe that it might be these matches that will stand, perhaps in addition with one match. I will predict the 6 matches that I know. I really can't think of any match that will come in addition to these. So, if I start out with the traditional Survivor Series matches, I would have hoped that they would have announced those a little earlier than they actually did, but still, they did it 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. That's okay. They have worked them up well and hyped them good, leading into the pay-per-view, and the feuds have been going on for a while. It's Team Michelle McCool versus Team Mickie James, a 5-on-5 Divas elimination match, and I believe, this is actually kind of hard to predict, but I believe that Michelle McCool, as the champion, will defeat Mickie James' team tonight and gain another upper hand on Mickie James, as she has had in the last couple of weeks. So Mickie James will lose tonight, and we will see Michelle McCool's team prevail. We also have Team John Morrison, of course, with the captain John Morrison teaming up with his fellow team members of Evan Bourne, Matt Hardy, Finlay, and Shelton Benjamin. They will take on Team Miz, with the captain, of course, The Miz, and Sheamus, Jack Swagger, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre in another 5-on-5 match. Another one that is hard to predict because you really don't know where the chicken will run, so to speak. It's very hard to predict that, and I, however, believe that John Morrison will get revenge from bragging rights and be a survivor in his win, as his team wins, and I believe that he might as well be the one that eliminates The Miz from this very match via pinfall. So this is a win for me, for Team Morrison. And then we go on to the third, perhaps most interesting match. One interesting note, by the way, Team Miz, is that The Miz and Jack Swagger has been having their altercations as of lately, and it will be interesting to see whether the focus for them will be to take on Team Morrison, or to simply take out each other and get a number on the other of them too. So, next traditional Survivor Series match, Kofi Kingston has his team against Randy Orton's team. Randy Orton will, of course, team with Legacy, and he will also be joined by William Regal and CM Punk. They will take on Kofi Kingston's team. He will team up with his buddies as of late, MVP Mark Henry, and he will also be joined by R-Truth, who has been having his issues recently with CM Punk, and also actually by the ECW champion Christian. And this is no small feat for Kofi Kingston to be captain over a team consisting of the ECW champion. This is the 3rd straight pay-per-view where we will not see the ECW title defended. That's sad in a way, but quite frankly, I don't care that much about it. This match, I think we might see. This is very hard as well, but Kofi Kingston might actually take this He completely mauled out Randy Orton in a tremendous fight. It was a long time that WWE really let two wrestlers fight it out that long in a very undeciding back and forth kind of match, until he made his boom drop from the crowd down through a table on Randy Orton, who actually bled during this melee, this brawl. But I believe Team Kingston might win this one. We move on to Rey Mysterio versus Batista, an interesting feud actually, and another sign of WWE making the product more interesting, of having a sudden impact heel turn by Batista at Bragging Rights. I didn't see it coming. People have been talking about that he needs to turn heel. Needs, and I don't know if needs is the right word, but that was a possibility, as is for every wrestler, and he did. He attacked Rey Mysterio, and I believe Batista will win this match. He has a revenge, so to speak, to get on Rey Mysterio. He lost the last match they had on SmackDown, and in order for him to get his new heel character over, he really needs a win over Rey Mysterio, and I believe they will have at least one more match after Survivor Series. And however, I believe that on Survivor Series that very night will be a good night for Batista to take his win. So Batista will win that match. John Cena, I believe, will retain against the Generation X, simply because he just won the title, and it would be interesting to see a rift in the Generation X and a possible feud, as is the talk of the town right now, that they might wrestle each other at WrestleMania. So I believe that John Cena will retain. That's pretty much all I have to say about that match. And The Undertaker also will retain against Chris Jericho and Big Show. So we'll have two titles retained, and I believe that's the first time in that case that both titles will be retained at the pay-per-view. And the first pay-per-view of the year with no title changes. That's pretty much unheard of before. But I believe this will be the night for that. So, more or less, to put it to a obvious conclusion, no title changes. Morrison will win with his team, McCool will win with her team, Kofi will win with his team, and Batista will defeat Rey Mysterio. Thank you for watching, and feel free to share your own predictions in the comments section of this video. Have a nice day.